All right, looks like we had a few people that are in our waiting room, and we'll just let a couple of them join in. But welcome everyone to our info session for Lean Six Sigma Greenbelt here at the Chang School. We'll just give it another few seconds for us to get started, but we're really excited to share what we have in store. Right. So my name is Mashur Chaudhry, and I'm the manager of recruitment and sales for the Chang School. Now, before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the land on which Toronto Metropolitan University is built upon. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. I want to pay my respects to the Indigenous peoples, elders, and ancestors who stewarded and cared for the nature and the people who lived on the land where TMU is located today. At the university, we've made a deep and long-lasting commitment to truth and reconciliation. I invite you to learn more about this work. Now I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's session. Your microphone is muted throughout the event so as not to disturb the attendees or the presenters. For the hearing impaired, we have automated captioning available, which you can access by activating it in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. You will have the opportunity to submit text questions to our presenters and speakers by typing your questions in the question box of the control panel. And you may send in your questions anytime during the session. We'll answer them at the end of the presentation portion. Now I'd like to introduce our guest speaker for today. First, we have Aubrey Wilson, Program Director, Dr. Aubrey Wilson, Program Director of Continuing Education at the Chang School, Shannon Kumpho, Program Manager for the Continuing Education at Chang School, and curriculum committee members and course developers, Anil Gupta and Mohsin Khan. Now I want to invite our program manager, Shannon, to go over a brief overview of the certificate. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you very much, Mashur. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this information session on our fully online postgraduate certificate in Lean Six Sigma Greenbelt program. My name is Shannon Kumpho, and I'm the program manager of continuing education at the Chang School, as Mashur mentioned. And I'm thrilled to guide you through this exciting opportunity that can enhance your career prospects and professional skills. Let's take a moment to go over some quick facts about the postgraduate certificate in Lean Six Sigma Greenbelt. First, this program is delivered fully online, offering you the flexibility to study from anywhere. You'll progress through 4 courses, some which are taken in sequence, allowing you to build on your knowledge systematically. And the program can be completed in little as 1 year, but you have up to 3 years to complete if you need a little bit more time to balance your studies with other commitments. The average time to complete is 1.5 years. The total cost of the program in all 4 courses ranges from approximately 3,900 to 4,200 Canadian dollars. With that overview, let's discuss who this program is designed for. So who's this program really for? There are a couple of key groups that we had in mind. First, if you're someone with 3 to 6 years of experience in quality, operations, or continuous improvement, this program helps you take things to the next level. You've already got some solid experience, and now you're looking for that Lean Six Sigma certification to sharpen your skills, boost your confidence, and maybe even land that promotion. Or maybe you're early in your career, maybe 1 to 3 years into any role, and you're curious about getting into the continuous improvement space. This program gives you a strong foundation and real-world tools to start making an impact right away. Whether you're looking to grow where you are or pivot into something new, this certificate gives you the skills and the credibility to move forward. Let's explore the key outcomes you can expect to achieve upon completing this program. So, what will you actually learn in this program? Let's break it down. First, you'll get grounded in the history and core principles of the Lean Six Sigma and what they are, why they matter, and how they've transformed organizations around the world. You'll get clear on your role in driving those improvements, no matter what kind of team or project you're working on. From there, we'll dive into DMAIC framework. That's define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. You'll learn how to apply it to real-world challenges, using data to find problems, fix them, and then make sure they stay fixed. We'll also help you build your technical toolkit. You'll explore data analysis, root cause identification, and key statistical tools like hypothesis testing and regression. If that sounds a little bit heavy, don't worry. We'll break it down in a way that's practical and easy to apply. And finally, you'll dig into lean thinking, which focuses on value stream mapping, process flow, and project management techniques that help you spot inefficiencies and eliminate waste. It's all about making systems better, faster, and smarter. By the end, you won't just know the theory, you will be ready to use these tools in the real world. Let's now go over the admission criteria for the program. Ensuring you meet these criteria is essential to setting yourself up for the success and making the most out of your learning experience. To be eligible for this program, you must have an undergraduate degree or an equivalent from an accredited post-secondary institution. This requirement ensures that all participants have the foundational skills, such as critical thinking, time management, problem solving, and interpersonal communication to successfully participate in an applied course. While not mandatory, we highly recommend that applicants have at least 3 years of relevant professional experience. Having this background will enable you to relate more closely to the program content, apply your learning directly to real-world situations, and contribute meaningfully to discussions and projects throughout the course. If you're unsure whether your qualifications meet the admission requirements, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of our client services team members. They're here to help you navigate the process and answer any questions you might have. Now let's walk through the application process for the certificate program. We made it as straightforward as possible so you can complete your application with ease. So first things first, start by preparing an updated resume. Once your resume is ready, proceed to complete the online application form. This form will ask for basic personal information, details about your academic background, and any relevant professional experience. Afterwards, after you complete the form, you'll be prompted to upload your resume. And finally, review your application to make sure everything is complete and then submit the form. Once you submitted it, you'll receive a response from our team within 3 business days. If you have any questions or need assistance at any point during the application process, our team is available to help. And that concludes my portion of the presentation. I'd now like to introduce my co-presenters and the program development team, Anil Gupta and Mohsin Khan.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Shannon. It really gave us a quick overview of the certificate, and you know, like you said, we're always here to answer whatever questions anyone might have. And as you said as well, it's our pleasure to introduce Anil Gupta, who's the curriculum committee member and course developer with 18 years of experience. Anil helps organization enhance performance by guiding executive teams in strategic planning and cultural alignment. Anil also teaches at the University of Toronto and McMaster University, and supports middle leaders in executive strategies and leads cross-functional problem solving, process transformation, and Lean Six Sigma training. So without further ado, welcome, Anil.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Anil Gupta, and I'm a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt. I've been doing this work for over 18 years now. During this time, I've had the opportunity to work in about 75 different organizations in a wide variety of sectors all across Canada and all across the world. From manufacturing of large-scale food and beverage to very small-scale organizations that design and manufacture, to services, and banks, and hospitals, and governments, all three levels of government, software companies, aerospace, a number of different organizations. In this course, I'm hoping to bring to our attendees what I have learned through my experience with all these organizations, a little bit about the challenges that organizations face, the need for us to continuously improve quality, improve performance by looking at continuously improving process. How do we engage every single team member in the organization to understand what quality is, to understand their contribution to improving processes on an ongoing basis, and therefore build organizations that can grow and succeed in the long term. The integration of strategy, process, and culture. This is what I'm passionate about. And in this course, I'm hoping to bring some of this practical experience to this course. Along with Mohsin, I've had the pleasure of developing most of this course. So I really look forward to Mohsin. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Anil. Thanks for sharing those insights. The large array of industries that you have an experience in is invaluable, and you know, it's definitely going to improve the organization and definitely this course. Now I'll take a moment to introduce our next speaker, Mohsin Khan, who's also a curriculum committee member and course developer, developing the course alongside with Anil. And Mohsin is also a director of cyber advisory at the Office of the CISO for the City of Ontario. He'll share some of his perspective regarding the world of Lean Six Sigma and how it's being used in his work today. Welcome, Mohsin.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I want to thank everybody for attending. So similar to Anil, I am a master black belt in Lean Six Sigma. I've had the privilege to actually attend TMU many years ago and study industrial engineering. And I've practiced my craft North America, Europe, and Southeast Asia in large-scale projects. My focus has always been around looking at service operations. So currently right now at the City of Toronto, we apply Lean Six Sigma, and we're looking at how we can improve the cyber posture of, you know, over 46 divisions and over 40 agencies and corporations like Toronto Police, and many more. For me, similar to what Anil had mentioned, working with him, we've created this course to cater to how do you get in front of the different stakeholders at different levels and be confident in terms of what you're able to present and how are you able to identify and solve a problem. Lean Six Sigma has the capability of impacting many industries, and it has the foundations to look at solving problems that others may not, but also facilitating those conversations. So we're looking at development of courses around business cases, around real life examples, and you know, this idea of how do you, as an individual, as a consultant, as a business owner, develop and bring the value to your organization. We're also here to kind of teach you what we've learned over the years and how Lean Six Sigma can take you to many places. So I went from industrial engineering and now I'm in cybersecurity, but the principles still stay the same. So we're excited to share those learnings with everybody and then hopefully build up the capacity, the presentation style, the templates that allows us to kind of cater and, you know, impact the organizations together.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mohsin. And, you know, it's really interesting to hear how some projects can be so large where you have to involve all the 46 divisions, like you mentioned, or something where the entire Toronto Police is involved and you have to manage a project of that large scale. But then also how the course is created to cater to people where they want to present and solve problems and show their stakeholders what they're doing. So you know, amazing insights, and thanks for sharing that. So we'll open the floor up for Q&A. Thank you to our speakers, and you know, please type in your questions that you want answered into the question and answer box. And what we want to also do is do a quick poll We want to know, oops, no, sorry, not this one. We wanted to know what you think is the most important skill in the world of Lean Six Sigma today. And, we have a couple of options here: problem solving and process improvement using DMAIC tools, data analysis with statistical methods like hypothesis testing and regression, lean principles application, including value stream mapping, and then project management for leading Lean Six Sigma initiatives. So yeah, we'll leave the poll up there for a bit so that everybody can answer, and we can get started if there are any questions that our attendees might have for today. We don't have any questions right now. We can take a look at some questions that actually came in prior to the sessions via email. And so the first question that we had, I can actually put out to our panel today. What are some of the real world projects or case studies that will be worked on in this program? So I don't know who might want to start with that. Anil or Mohsen, you can go ahead, and then maybe
Sure.
Robert and Shannon, if you want to add.
So maybe I'll get started. So we've designed this course in a way that the learning is actually scaffolded by first introducing the concepts a little bit theoretically, and then within the classroom we talk about and share and discuss in small groups, sometimes in breakout teams, case studies. And some of those case studies we have developed, and case studies from the industry that we have seen. Many of us will be able to relate to them, that we can discuss and talk about and learn from. Also, we'll have an opportunity for attendees to bring cases from their own industry and their own organization, talk about various situations that we face in organizations, and have an opportunity within within the classroom and within our discussion boards to discuss. A little bit later on in the course, as we progress, there is an opportunity for us for everybody to bring a real case study from their own organization and actually work on a problem-solving project as well. And as part of that, part of the course, they'll be able to get feedback from their own team members and feedback from the facilitator. So in a couple of different layers, we will find an opportunity to talk about a number of different case studies.
That's awesome. And then just to top up, and I think it's really important because I think there's a question around how do we differentiate ourselves from other programs. And I think it's this idea that we're looking at every industry and trying to apply Lean Six Sigma in there. Traditionally it tends to be applied towards manufacturing, but between myself and Anil and other key stakeholders, we've been able to bring forward case studies such as hospitals, ServiceNow in the IT environment, non-for-profits, the retail, the manufacturing, space industry. So we're looking at all use cases and how we can make them relevant. And it highlights that the principles behind Lean Six Sigma can be universal, and they could apply, and it can allow you to apply that problem solving anywhere you go, regardless of what industry you want to proceed in, whatever level you want to proceed in, or how close to the data do you want to be versus management. So you'll see in each of the different modules that we have is that unique case study that just gives that insight and the aha moment to highlight that it's not that different at all.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing that, both Anil and Mohsen. Next question is, how does this Lean Six Sigma Belt certificate differentiate itself from other programs or other similar programs in the industry?
That's a great question. Thank you. I'd like to take that one. So in looking at Lean Six Sigma Greenbelt programs, you might notice that you have a variety of options across industries, across professional associations, universities, and the like. one of the things that really differentiates this program, I think, is the amount of time that you'll get to spend with Lean Six Sigma professionals, and then also the amount of applied knowledge that you'll be able to develop. So a lot of options for Lean Six Sigma Green Belt programs could be a lot shorter, but if you have a shorter program, you may not have the opportunity to develop out your knowledge as fulsomely before you actually have to apply it in a real world setting. So when we've designed the program, we're really looking at the maximum amount of value that we could add for learners joining the program, giving people the opportunity to learn over time, having a very applied experience. When our program design, we work with industry, we work with employers. We did a lot of research into what credentials make a really big difference for employers. And employers told us that, they really trust university credentials. They really like that if they're applied, that's even better. And so the program that we design is based specifically on feedback from industry. So you'll get a lot more out of this program in that you'll have the time to develop your knowledge and skills. You'll have a lot of application. You'll get to tap into industry experts if you're working on projects in your workplace. You'll be able to ask for feedback there. And then also another key differentiator of the program is that not only will you be earning a university certificate, but you'll be completing Green Belt level project in your final course, which will also qualify you for a certification. So you'll really walk away from the program with 2 credentials that employers are going to really value and see on your resume. Another key component of the program is that any employer can go to our website and they can see what a learner is doing in the courses. And that was one of the things that employers let us know when we were doing research, is that sometimes they're not really sure what the credentials mean. And so they don't hold as much weight, but people can go to our website and so they can see. So those are a couple of the key differentiators for our program.
Great. No, thank you for sharing those differentiators. Is there anything else, Anil, Mohsen, you'd like to add?
No, I think I'm good. I think Arbor kind of mentioned the key points, right? Which is the ability to actually go into detail. There is courses that are 2-3 days long sometimes, but the level of information is so high level, where here we actually have the ability to learn, to share templates, and to get you ready to actually be in the professional setting, which I think is important to highlight, because that's what's going to make the difference when you are looking for that promotion or you're looking to advance your career, is the ability to take lead. And that's what we really want to cater towards.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to add exactly to that. The balance between theory and practice. This is what we've done, not only practice. A lot of other courses will tend to focus a lot more on, here are the concepts, right? That you can you learn in the classroom through a slide deck, through whatever. We balanced it out with case studies. We balanced it out with practical experience. We balanced it out with lots and lots of conversation and discussion. And I think the other thing about this course, I think, I may be a little biased here, but I think we have an outstanding group of instructors. And I think that adds a little bit as well to the course.
Nicely said. Thank you so much for that, Anil. Yeah, striking that perfect balance is so important. So I think that you touch on a very good point there, that we try to have that balance, and then hopefully our learners feel the same way. Before we move on to our next question, the poll that we did, I'll just quickly share the results. We had problem solving and process improvement using DMAIC tools as the leading option, and then followed by data analysis and statistical methods and lean principle application, including value stream mapping. And then the last one was a project management for Lean Six Sigma initiatives. I just want to let everyone know that all of these are actually skills that we will be covering and topics that we will be covering throughout the Lean Six Sigma Green Belt course. So next question, it's very interesting as well. Is there a final project for the course, and what does that look like? What are the expectations of completion?
So I can answer that. So I think the final project is accumulation of capstone. And what it's focused around is 2 aspects. So the first is you're able to bring a live case to the classroom, or we can provide you a live case. And in that course, you're going to take lead and you're going to take everything that you've learned and applied it, and then present it to a key stakeholders, board of directors, and a variety of other key stakeholders and experts to provide you feedback. And what it's catered around is, what does the real thing look like? When we, myself, Anil, go in front of an executive team and we're trying to produce a project, what are the level of detail that we need? What is the analysis that we need? And what are the outcomes? And then being able to interact with experts, different reviewers, different team members, and get that one-to-one feedback will allow this course to take everything that you've learned previously and make sure that you apply and understand it. And the capstone can also be leveraged as work experience when you are going to potential employers to talk about what you've done in terms of your portfolio. And it really does give you the baseline of foundations, skills, templates, and the ability to see how do you fare when you go in front of, instructors, in front of other experts, in front of board of directors, and make sure that you're able to share the value of what you do and make sure you win them over. So the capstone project again becomes a good, final keystone. And then at the end of it, there is the certification, there is the designation, and a bid party to kind of highlight and cap off the great work that you've done over the year. Anil, anything that you'd like to top up on?
Yeah, I think you've covered most of it. So as we learned the DMAIC problem solving methodology in the first and second course, I think it's also important to note that towards the end of the second course, you will have an opportunity to apply DMAIC in a smaller project. And therefore you get a little bit of experience of using the methodology and some of the tools. And in the fourth course, that's when you bring a project from your own organization, working teams, and you are guided through the process of DMAIC along with the tools. You get feedback at every stage. You interact with both the instructors who give you feedback on an ongoing basis. You present out to your to the class cohort and get feedback from them. And along the way, then you get to develop a solution that you can actually take to your own organization. So you developed it in a way that prepares you well for this final course. And this final course gives you the opportunity to apply everything that you learned.
Thank you both. No, such amazing information. Thank you for sharing that. We have the next question, which is I'll combine a couple of questions together because it has come a few times. One of them is from Logan. Thank you for your question, Logan. And it is, do you need to have the white or yellow belt first, or does this cover everything up until green belt? And can you give us an overview of what the various colors of belts are like? And if you need to complete the yellow one to sign up for this.
So I can respond to that if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead.
So very quickly, to answer the question about do you need a prerequisite in terms of another belt? The very simple answer is no. All of these belts, these courses are designed. You can enter the green belt without any prior experience. We will start with ground zero and we'll build up from there. So no prerequisite is required in terms of the belt itself. Okay. In terms of the belts in the industry, typically there are 4 levels of belts. There's a white or yellow belt, which is really at an informational level. Often recommended for nearly anybody in an organization. At this point, you really cannot apply or do a project, right? You don't have enough tools or enough understanding of the methodology to be able to apply it. And therefore it's an informational level only. Typically a half-day or one-day course is what a white belt, or a 2-day course, a yellow belt course. A green belt is a practitioner course. At a green belt, we typically say you have a full-time job, and you are also doing process improvement within your own sphere of influence in your own area. That's what we're going to be doing a project on, and that is the level of a green belt. At a black belt, you become a full-time practitioner of continuous improvement and in project management. So that's primarily the 3 belts. There is a 4th belt, which is a master black belt, which is once you've been a black belt for a while, you become a coach and a teacher, and you become a master black belt.
Thanks for that breakdown, Anil. Really appreciate that. I think that covers the answer of that question, unless there's anything else from Aubrey, Mohsin. Yeah, okay, cool. We can move on to the next question, which is, what is the online schedule like? Is it flexible? Does the coursework require high level of engagement, or is it flexible? I think the short answer to that is it is flexible, but if there is anything else that you'd like to add to that in terms of the levels of engagement.
So I can answer that. So the way that we've structured the course is, one, keep in mind that people are working or have other responsibilities. So it's catered into 2 elements. So there's a self-learning element, which is self-paced, and that corresponds to some pre-reading, learning the material, doing the case study. And then we have a live session where we'll go into the material, we'll do a case study, we'll learn to pitch, we'll learn to work together and best practices, and then talk about the assignments. So we have looked at, relatively the course effort, which I think is anywhere between 5 to 8 hours a week. But we've also focused around working as a team with some individual components. And we feel that this would be a great learning tool, so not to overwhelm people, and to really take the advantage of going into detail within the courses, but also making sure that we expand it out towards the remaining weeks to not overwhelm, while giving you that level of detail to be the practitioner that we need.
Great, thank you for providing that detailed answer as well, Mohsin. Next question is regarding, what type of tools and softwares we'll be using during the program, and I'll combine that with the following question, which is, what type of AI is required or reflected in the coursework. So I guess we can combine that into, is there any AI tools that we're using, and if not, or, what are some other tools or software that we're using during the program?
So I can take the first stab at that one. So I think there's 2 key elements here. So we'll talk about the lean tools, then we'll talk about softwares, and then we can talk about some of the new trends like AI, process mining, etc. So from a tool perspective, you'll learn the entire toolkit under, the MADE framework, which is the define, measure, analyze, improve, control. Within each one of those elements, you'll learn the Lean Sigma tools like value stream mapping, all the way to the statistical elements for Six Sigma. And you'll get into detail about how you apply control charts, how are you looking at the 5 whys, how are you looking at the data to make sure that it's statistically incorrect or correct, and hypothesis testing. So you go through each of the elements, and the key is you're defining your problem, you're making sure that you have the baseline of data, you're analyzing it through the variety of tools, you are then coming up with recommendations, you're implementing it with a change management plan, and then you're having the controls in place, making sure that it is doing what it's supposed to do, and that you have the business case that you've settled up based on the metrics. In regards to software, one of the key approaches that we made in this course development is to focus on software that's more available for everyone. The reasoning why is, not everybody has access to tools like MATLAB or, the heavy process mapping tools, but you're able to use things like Excel and PowerPoint and Word. And this is common tools that become very powerful with the right knowledge. And that's the templates that you'll see. And it allows you to do this anywhere. You can do this on the back of a napkin, or you can do it on, a PowerPoint, or you can do it in Excel. And then the third element is around AI. So there is a few sections where we do talk about the new up and coming tools, and especially when we look at AI, process mining, or how we get data that we can compare, contrast, and run through the process. And that's where we're seeing AI kind of being a major fit with, the robotic processing and the RPAs and other kind of key aspects to make people's lives easier, but also to help gather and document information and make it more accessible for analysis. Anil, anything that I missed on that one?
No, I think you covered it. For all of our statistical tools as well, we are going to only use Excel. We're not going to be, using any statistical software. So keep it light on that account. Learn the concepts, learn how to apply them, learn how to make good business decisions. But the tools themselves, Excel is all that we need.
I really love the way you both work with each other, and it just shows the partnership that you've had while developing and building this course. It shows. So thanks for that genuine communication. So the next question is, thanks for the session. Can you please talk about if there will be any networking opportunities throughout the course? I know on our call we've got our academic and career advisor, Dave. Dave, I don't know if you're able to maybe take that question and come and say a few words about what your team does.
Sure. So, I mean, I guess I'll just start by saying, like, as of right now, we don't have anything program specific in terms of networking opportunities as of right now. I don't know if anyone else in the program would like to add to that, but it is a new program, so there's nothing as of right now. I won't rule that out for the future, and I'll just say that for example, for other certificates offered at the Chang School, particularly those that have a practical or like a vocational focus, I guess, for lack of a better word, there will be we do have events that are networking events or mixers where we have industry experts come to speak and connect with students. I would hazard a guess here that just maybe the experts can clarify here, but I think with something like this, because it's applicable to more than a single industry or sector, it's maybe a little more difficult to have a targeted networking event like we would with, say, publishing or community services, things like that. But all that to say, we have in the past, for example, had like a STEM networking event where it really is open to anyone who's taking even broadly relevant programming. So something like that may occur in the future and may be relevant. And then just to sort of backtrack, like my role at the Chang School, as well as my colleague Abby, is to be a academic and career advisor, primarily at the decision-making phase with students, talking about where they'd like to go, how our programming can potentially line up with their academic and career goals. And then for current students and recent grads, we also have a career education specialist who, her name is Dina Marcos, and she can really help with things like networking strategy, job search strategy, helping you develop your resume, cover letter, interview skills, things like that. So that may also be a good resource if you're looking for networking support. And Dina, as I said, she's available to any current students or recent grads, and you can reach out to her directly to book an appointment.
Thank you so much, Dave. Thanks for sharing all that really valuable information. And yes, please let us know. And you can always reach out to myself or Dave and get some one-on-one time if you have any specific questions. We can help answer those. Moving on to the next question. What level of Excel work is there to achieve outcomes? Intermediate to advanced, pivot tables or lookups, macros, and will templates be provided?
So I'll take that question very quickly. Excel, really, we've designed this course for a beginner. Okay, and so whatever you bring will be great. It will be an add-on, but really something that if you have very little experience in Excel, you'll still be able to be completely comfortable with this. We will not be doing macro programming and things like that. And yet you'll be able to do very, very good statistical analysis by the end of this course. Okay, and be able to analyze data, interpret data, and make good business decisions.
Great, thank you. Thanks for quickly answering that, Anil. Now we've got two more questions that I think we can sort of combine. It's about what experience you have prior to it when you're coming in. You know, someone wants to know if you need to be from a specific industry to do this certificate, and regarding the requirement of an undergrad degree. If you have an undergrad degree a couple of years ago, would that matter, or do you need to be a graduate recently? So, you know, does it matter if you're a recent grad or an undergrad from a few years ago? And does it matter what industry you're coming from?
So I can talk about this very briefly as well. Lean Six Sigma as a methodology and a set of tools and concepts is applicable to every industry. Doesn't matter what kind of work we do, what kind of industry we are. Both of these methodologies originated in manufacturing, but over the last 20 years, it has gone from manufacturing to services of all sorts of kinds, transactional organizations, knowledge-based organizations, to legal, hospitals, doctors' offices, all three levels of government. Nearly every organization, in fact, universities around the world are now using Lean Six Sigma. And so completely applicable to any kind of work. You'll actually be able to apply this even to your own personal life. And so, so no sector, no particular sector. And the beauty about this course and an open enrollment course like this is your classmates will probably represent the wide array of industries that we have, and we get to learn from each other. We'll be surprised. We think about sectors as being different, and yet challenges in organizations are very, very similar. And often solutions are very, very transferable as well. So that's the beauty about a course like this, rather than even do a course within your own organization where you tend to speak only about and talk only about things that happen in your own type of industry. So open to all sectors. An undergrad degree, it doesn't matter if you did it very recently and you have only a little bit of industry experience, or you've had a few years. It's all good. We've had people through this course that have been working in the industry for 20 years, and they bring a huge amount of experience, and others that are just graduated. So it's a course applicable at every level of the organization, and that diversity actually helps as well.
Thanks for that, Anil. Is there anything anyone else would like to add to that? Okay.
I'll summarize it perfectly.
Awesome. I know there was one more question that got answered through text, but I just want to call it out because I feel like that might be important for our learners here. We had a couple of people who wanted to ask if there's a minimum number of students to run the course, or if there's a limit to the capacity. So there is a 25 student cap for our courses, so that you have more opportunities to connect with peers and your learners and in a more intimate setting. And that's one information that we wanted to share. And the other one was regarding the length of program and what are the requirements to enroll. The average time to complete is 1 to 1.5 years, but you have 3 years to complete. And the admission requirements is an undergraduate degree or an equivalent. So just wanted to reiterate that because it's always something that comes up. So at this time, we don't have any more open questions, but we would like to do one last poll. We wanted to gather feedback on how we did in answering your questions, so that we can always, oops, got the wrong one again. So that we could improve on what we do and provide feedback to our team. So if you could answer, if we were able to answer all your questions, and if not entirely, then please reach out to us so that we can answer them and get you to where you want to be to take that next step in your journey. And so at this time, I can provide my closing remarks. Wanted to give a big thank you to our presenter, Shannon, our panelists, Aubrey, Anil, and Mohsin. Thank you to Dave, Raymond, and Luke for also helping out in the background, answering some of those questions, and everybody else that attended our session by taking the time out of your day. Now, if you're interested in learning more about the certificate, please visit our website at continuing.torontomu.ca. And if you have any other questions, feel free to contact me directly at mash.chaudhry@torontomu.ca. This presentation, the recording, will be sent to you via email with the survey within the next 24 to 48 hours. And we wanted to give you a big thanks on behalf of the Chang School and our presenters and speakers. Hope you have a great rest of the day.
Thanks everyone for attending.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.